Today I want to share some interesting tactic endgames. This is the first position. It is white to move. You may pause the video if you want. As you can see, white has an extra minor piece, but as black has one bishop, it's not going to be easy for white to get anything because there are no pawns here. So probably if we want to win, we need to get this bishop. The first move here in this position will be king d7. The idea is that wherever this bishop goes now, white will have a discovered check getting the bishop. After bishop b6 or bishop a5, white can play knight c4 and capture the bishop. And after a move like bishop f6, white can play knight e4 and get the minor piece again. And finally, after a move like bishop h4, then white has this move knight f3 and knight takes bishop. This is the second position. It is white to move. Pause the video if you want. Black has a queen against a rook and a knight. Here, the first move and the only way to win in this position for white will be the amazing rook a1. The idea is that wherever the queen goes now, white will be able to get the queen. For example, after queen takes rook, white can play knight b3 and get the queen. Black queen cannot move in this line because everything is already controlled by white pieces. And the other moves would be like queen e4 or queen d5, but then white will have some skewers over a4 or d1 getting the queen. And after a move like queen a8, white will have a discovered check by playing knight b3 and getting the queen here on a8. So after this move, rook a1, white is getting black queen. So let's see the line on the board. Queen takes rook, knight b3, and knight takes queen with a completely won endgame on the board. This is the next position. It is white to move. There is an amazing sacrifice winning the endgame. The first move here, queen a8. Only move for black will be king takes, and then white can play knight takes b6. Only move king b8 and knight takes d7 with another fork getting the queen now. After this, white has a pawn and a knight, so the endgame will be won. This is position number 4. White to move, they can win here. Notice that white has a queen, but black has two very dangerous pawns in the 7th rank. So let's see how white queen can beat this king with the two powerful pawns. The first move here in this position will be queen h7. Only move for black is king a1, and then there is this subtle move, queen h8. The idea is that now the only move for black will be king b1, and then white will have checkmate in 1 by playing queen h1. As a curiosity, I need to say that when I thought about the solution of this puzzle, I found a different way to win, and the right solution is in 3 moves, but the way to win I found it was in 5. And it was like this: by playing queen g6, only move king a1, queen f6, only move king b1, another check with the queen, and now queen e5. After king b1, then we can play queen e1 checkmate. So my idea was like doing this stair maybe, and doing the checkmate here, but as you can see, these are 5 moves, and the other way is shorter in 3 moves. This is position number 5. It is an instructive endgame, white to move. How would you play here? Probably this endgame is won in some different ways for white, but there is something very interesting that is going to make this endgame pretty simple. The idea is that it would be great if white could play rook g7, then h7, and after that they could give a check on g8 and promote on h8. That would be perfect. But as you can see, black will have this square for the king, so they will be able to play king a7 and avoid that plan with a rook here controlling this pawn. So the idea is that we're going to remove this square for the king. Black won't have this option to go to a7 with the king after the move I like in this position. I'm talking about a6. After b takes a6, then white can play rook g7, and after something like rook h4, white plays h7 and no one stops rook g8 and h8, getting the rook and winning the endgame. If black doesn't take on a6, well, then white will take on b7 and the endgame will be also won for white without too many complications. So, you know, a pretty simple way to win this endgame is by playing a6, removing this escape for black king, and making this plan rook g7, h7, rook g8 and h8 unstoppable. And we finish with position number 6. It is white to move, and as you can see, black has a very dangerous pawn here on a2 about to promote. So my question is there some way for white to stop this pawn and win the endgame? It looks really bad for them, but there is a way to stop the pawn. The first move, and the only way to win in this endgame, is by playing rook h5. The idea is that after black king moves, we can play this rook a5, attracting the king to this square, so we can now play b4, clearing b2 and getting a tempo, because this is check, with the pawn. After king takes b4, then white plays king b2 and they will get the a2 pawn and will win because they have two past connected pawns and black has only one here on b7. Remember and notice that these connected pawns protect each other, so black king won't be able to do anything against them, and white will get this pawn very easily or very soon. So I repeated, the plan to win here is attracting the king to this square, so we can clear b2 with a tempo, and then we control the passed pawn from a2. So rook h5 and rook a5, and then b4 and king b2, winning the endgame. So this is the video I wanted to show you. The question for today will be, what is better, a minor piece or 3 pawns? The answers in the comments. Thank you for watching this. Don't forget to subscribe, give me a like if you learned something here, and of course I will see you soon in another video.